And showtime, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Channel Pro 5-minute roundup, a look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I am executive editor of the Channel Pro Network and one of your co-hosts on this fine program. Your other co-host with me, as always, is Eric Simpson, who is CIO and Senior Vice President of SPC International, a business improvement and training service for MSPs and solution providers. Eric, how are you and where are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Rich. Today, I'm in sunny Southern California, having spent the last week in Colorado Springs and New Jersey. How about you?
I am home in Seattle. I was actually down in your neck of the woods. I was in Anaheim earlier in the week at an ASCII event.
Very well.
Well, let's dive into the news. We have our top story of the week here. And to be honest, it's not a bombshell announcement. It wasn't a huge news week. But Cytracom, a VoIP provider, made an interesting announcement about its platform this past week. They introduced a service they are calling Integrated Voice Intelligence, or IV. And it's basically, in addition to their platform that's going to allow them to analyze call traffic in real time and act on that information in a variety of interesting ways. So they have all sorts of different applications of that plan for the future. For right now, they're drawing on IV to power a voice continuity service. And so essentially, they're going to be looking at uptime for all of their VoIP connections. If IV realizes that one of the offices you as an MSP supports no longer has phone connections, it will send alerts out, it will notify the customer, it'll notify you, and it'll automatically put a continuity plan into action. So this is all configurable in terms of what triggers the continuity plan and what is in the continuity plan. You can set that up on a customer by customer basis. And then when regular phone service is restored, IV automatically sends you back to that and takes the continuity plan out of effect. In the future, they're going to be using that to send out analytics data, basically, that you're going to be able to use to take a look at call quality and maybe diagnose call quality issues, help your customers maintain better call quality. They've apparently got some predictive analytics things in the works as well. And best of all, from an MSP standpoint, all of this is just now built into the platform. There's no additional fee for any of this. So it's just another feature of the service. So at a time when there are a lot of VoIP providers out there going after the SMB market, I thought this was sort of interesting.
No, I agree, Rich, and a long time coming, right? So this is one of those situations where how do you distinguish between kind of the plain vanilla services that now all VoIP providers, offer, right? So, I mean, everybody's got the basic feature and functionality, right? But something that we as MSPs have struggled with since the inception of VoIP has been how to deal with interruptions, how to deal with failover. And we've come up with some, pretty creative solutions, dropping a hard line in and failing over to that, or installing routers that allow us to fail over to cellular connections and things like that. So it's really interesting to see Cytracom take this step where not only are they providing the ability to alert you when there's an outage, but also automatically provide failover services, which is simply going to make our jobs as solution providers much easier and provide that, distinction and differentiation so that we can come in and use that to our advantage when trying to install or trying to introduce new VoIP, or maybe disrupt existing VoIP service that a client has had from maybe a previous provider.
Well, one of the interesting things in terms of this being a long time coming is Cytracom will tell you anyway that there are a lot of VoIP providers out there that lease their infrastructure as opposed to having their own that they've built and maintained themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so Cytracom says basically the fact that they built their own infrastructure from the ground up and that they operate it themselves gives them the ability to build these kinds of functions into it. And that's one reason why some other VoIP providers might have difficulty tapping into the call traffic data that way. Well, let's dive into your tip of the week, your business tip of the week, Eric. What is that?
So today's business tip of the week focuses around sales activities. So as an organization that markets, promotes, and sells IT solutions, managed services, professional services, and things like that, I'd like you to think about what the critical sales activities are every single week that your sales team or yourself, if you're the sales professional, should be executing. So I've got a quick top 10 list that I'll breeze through real quickly. So sales activities that you should be conducting every single week are new LinkedIn link requests. So you're meeting people, you're networking. LinkedIn is a very effective platform to really identify and target your ideal client, and especially if you sign up for their Sales Navigator service. So it allows you to really zoom in on title, geography, size of organization, and things like that, and identify the decision makers. So set yourself up with a specific number of these activities every week. So in my mind, 30 LinkedIn requests a week is probably red, 40 is yellow, 50 is green. So give yourself a red, amber, green type of a checklist to do this. How many new emails are you sending out to prospects? Now, these can be marketing campaign emails. These can be personal emails that you're also sending to do follow-ups to prospects and just maintain a connection. Now, when somebody accepts your LinkedIn request, send them a quick email and thank them, right? You're going to get their email address and you're going to create that relationship. How many new prospect calls are you conducting every week? Set a number for that, right? If it's 100 calls, if it's 50 calls, whatever it is, make sure you're hitting that every single week. Are you doing door knocking when you're going out and doing your QBRs, or you're going out and doing new client meetings? Some people just can't stand door knocking, but other folks, when you think about it this way, look, you're already out there, you're visiting an existing client or a new prospect, knock 5 doors to the left, 5 doors to the right. You've got 10 new opportunities that you're trying to create a relationship with that way. And maybe you do that every single week, or whenever you get out and you have a number that you hit. Get new referrals. The follow-up is the 7th step of the sales process. The close is not the last step, it's the follow-up. Follow-up means you're requesting new referrals. Whenever you're going to do your QBRs, you're asking your clients for 3 or 4 referrals. So always be asking for referrals every single week. Schedule new appointments every week. Present proposals to new clients every week, right? Some of these things are kind of no-brainers, but create yourself a spreadsheet and make sure you're tracking this so that you're consistently executing these sales activities every single week, and make sure you're always updating that activity inside of your PSA solution or your sales CRM solution. So find your top 10 activities that you're going to execute every week, set some goals to do that, and every single week hit those, and I guarantee you'll increase your appointments.
Great detailed stuff, Eric. Awesome stuff. And the key words, you heard them a lot, were every week. And that's the thing about sales and marketing, is you've got to do it every week. It can't be the thing that you do now and again when it suddenly occurs to you you'd like to have a few more accounts. It's just got to be a regular part of the rhythm of your business. And so, yeah, those are all awesome things for people to be doing every week. Yeah,
process, not an event. Sales is a process, not an event. So consistency.
All right. Well, we've just got time for one more story here, and it involves a scenario that's going to be familiar to most of us, but it's going to involve a person who took some action on that maybe is a little unfamiliar. So there was a lawsuit filed in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. A gentleman named Frank Dickman, you can't make this stuff up, filed suit against Microsoft because he bought himself a laptop with Windows 7 pre-installed on it. And when he upgraded to Windows 10, everything went wrong and the laptop isn't usable to him before. Look, we've all experienced bad upgrades, witnessed bad upgrades. We hate bad upgrades and what they can do to a laptop. But this guy is suing Microsoft for $600 million over this. Eric, does that sound reasonable to you?
Well, it depends on what that laptop was made out of, really, and what was on it, So, it's certainly, and I read the article as well. You sent it over, Rich, in preparation for the humor segment. And I've got to say, this gentleman, it's not his first rodeo at trying to take down large organizations. So take that with a grain of salt.
And that article pointed out that Microsoft has been sued successfully over a bad upgrade. There was a woman who won $10,000 from Microsoft over that. So maybe this guy's hoping he'll start out at $600 million, and if he ends up at $10,000, he's come out ahead.
Understood. All right. Well, there's something for everybody. There's 8 million ways to address these issues. And the other thing that I understood from the article was that it was Microsoft's automatic upgrade to Windows 10. Without, so we've seen some of that as well create havoc. So there's definitely probably some some relief that he could ask for, but I don't think it'll be anywhere in the neighborhood of $600 million.
All right. Well, that's our show for the week. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to keep up on the latest episodes, know when we're going to be recording again, please subscribe to the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube. To keep up with all the great content we've got for you at ChannelPro, visit channelpronetwork.com on a regular basis. If you want to know more about SPC International, go to their website, consulting.spc-intl.com. That's consulting.spc-intl.com. That is our show. Until next week, we will see you again. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. We are enjoying the rest of your week already.